Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Luki G or Lulu G. I have a bunch of little names, that I give myself just for fun. But the name of the channel is Luki Gomez, and this is the stories behind the song series, which I've been doing quite a few of those. Let me kind of fix the camera a little bit here. So it's been a lot of fun to do that. So, let's see here. Let's kind of wind back a little bit. So, number 49 was the last video that I did for the stories behind the song. And 49 was Aretha Franklin's Spanish Harlem. It's a great song. La 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 la. There is a black rose in Spanish Harlem. Anyway, it's a great song, and I really love the way she did the interpretation. And you can just go back to that video and listen to it if you haven't had a chance. But hey, by the way, thanks for visiting my channel. I really appreciate it, because I like to share my ideas about the lyrics of these songs, and that's basically I'm looking at some of the personal historical components of the song, and then look at the lyrics and talk about the interpretation of the lyrics, which is kind of fun. So that was number 49 on the Billboard end of the year top 100 hits for 1971. Number 50 is I Don't Know How to Love Him. And that's from the Jesus Christ Superstar musical. It's a beautiful song. I don't know how to love him. And it's Mary Magdalene singing to Jesus. It's beautiful. So that's number 50, but I'm not doing that one. 51 is Yo-Yo by the Osmonds, and not doing that one. And then number 52 is another Aretha Franklin hit, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Now, this song was originally done by Simon and Garfunkel, and it was number one in the 1970 Billboard End of the Year Top 100s. It was number one, Simon and Garfunkel. It was a huge hit. But Aretha's version of it is very different, and that's the gift that Aretha Franklin has. Not only is she a gifted musician, a piano player, a keyboard player, but she's also very gifted in the use of her voice, and also in arranging songs, pre-arranging songs, recomposing the songs. In other words, she'll take a song that somebody else did, excuse me, like A Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and she turned it into a hit because of the arrangement that she did with it, and plus the focus. She kind of did a little bit of a different focus. And Paul Simon, the writer of the song from Simon and Garfunkel, he said that he really liked how she had brought the song into the church. And the reason because of that is because Aretha Franklin comes from the gospel tradition of singing. She used to sing in the choir for her church, and where her father was a preacher in that church. And so she grew up in that musical culture, and so she brings that in. And also another thing that she brings in to her songs, which make her songs incredibly popular, are the Motown sound and the civil rights movement vibe, Black power, black is beautiful, that kind of thing, which was movements and ideologies that were surging in the 60s from the African American community here in the United States, which they were desperately seeking equal rights. You know, it seems like a never-ending struggle for people in this country, unfortunately. But so she brings that vibe into her music also, and that's why white people who listen to rock love her stuff. You know, we love it because it's real and it's raw and it's gospel-y, and it's got that vibe that we love, that we respect and love. That's just how it is. So that's what makes her so incredibly amazing. Now, so her version then is infused with gospel traditions. And this song was recorded in the summer of 1970. Okay, so the original Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon and Garfunkel, which got #1, that song was written and recorded probably in 1969 at the end. I don't remember, but in 1970 it became #1 in that list. Now her song, she recorded it in the summer of 1970. That means the song came out in 1970. She listened to it and she loved it, and so she appropriated it to her style. And of course, you know, she did a beautiful job with it. So during the sessions, that eventually this song would become her 1970, it would be in her 1972 album. Actually, it was part of the music that's in her 1972 album, Young, Gifted, and Black. She's always making reference to that part of her identity. She doesn't forget and doesn't let us forget, and I think that's very cool. So she debuted this version that we're going to be talking about, in which the link is below in the, you know, of this video. If you want to tap that and listen to the song. So this recording is in the key of B major. Now, for those of you guys who are trained musicians, I'm saying it for you, because for the rest of us who are not trained musicians, who don't know how to read music, we don't know really what that is. All I know is that her voice is at a higher scale. So she debuted the song, this version of the song, on March 5th, 1971. Okay? And by the end of 71, it hits the Billboard as number, what did I say, 52? Let's see, did I say? Let's see. Oh boy, let's see, I'm way, boy. Yeah, number 52. Okay, so, anyway. So, that's when it was first performed live. It's a 5-minute length song, which, you know, the pop songs are usually within that time frame. Columbia did decide to release Bridge Over Troubled Waters for play on in pop radio, because for it to play in the pop music section of the radio stations, it had to be less than 5 minutes long. So now, apparently AM radio had previously played one of Bob Dylan's songs, Like a Rolling Stone, in 1965, despite the fact that it ran over the conventional 3-minute playtime limit. It's 3 minutes. I thought it was 5, but it's 3 minutes. So the fact that they did that for Bob Dylan and Rolling Stone was a huge hit. If you have not heard Bob Dylan's Rolling Stone, Like a Rolling Stone, you should. 1965. He was very influential, also an American singer-songwriter. Not the Beatles, but very influential also. So like 64, the Beatles come up, and then Bob Dylan's right behind. I mean, it's just like an explosion of music and talent that we had here in the United States. It was incredible. Aside from the fact that we already had this, Motown music coming since the 50s, and just like, Elvis Presley with his rock versions, and just amazing. So anyway, so because they had done that with his song, Columbia decided to release the 5-minute version of Bridge Over Troubled Waters as a single. Aretha Franklin's version. And so they release it, and it reaches -- on the Billboard Hot 100s on February 28th of 1970. So in the month of February, March, it reaches #1, and it stayed at the top of the chart for 6 weeks. Well, that's a long time to stay on a top chart like that. So this song, Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Aretha Franklin, also topped the adult contemporary chart. I didn't realize there was an adult contemporary chart in the US for 6 weeks. Billboard ranked it as the #1 song for 1970, right, by Simon and Garfunkel. And the song was certified gold for over 1 million copies in the US by the Recording Industry Association of America, and sold over 6 million copies worldwide. So the song, it won a Grammy Award for Record of the Year, and Song of the Year, and Best Contemporary Song, and Best Arrangement, Instrumental, and Vocals in the Grammys of 1971, with its album also the Album of the Year. Now, for Aretha Franklin, like I was telling you earlier, it was a 5-minute recording, so they would decide to go ahead and release it as a single. And on the other side, on side A and on side B, they had Brand New Me, which I'm not familiar with that song. So it was recorded in August 13, 1970, actually, in New York City. And it was 5 minutes and 31 seconds long. The album version is 5 minutes and 31 seconds. And then the single version is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's see. That's just how music worked in those days. So it's okay. So she kind of did both of these songs, Bridge Over Troubled Waters and Spanish Harlem, around the same time, and they're both in the end of the year chart. So, like I was telling you earlier, her version is infused with gospel tradition, and during the session for what would become her 1972 album, Young, Gifted, and Black, she renditions, let's see. So it's recorded in the key of B major, just reviewing that part. She debuts her version on March 5th, 1971, during her landmark 3-night gig at San Francisco's Fillmore West, which was later released as Aretha Live at Fillmore West. And I did find a few videos of that event. So in other words, while she's performing at San Francisco's Fillmore West, she's also recording Bridge Over Troubled Waters. 11 days later, she performed the song on television for the first time at the 13th Annual Grammy Awards. I really didn't look that up, but you can. I ended up finding other music and other performances that she did which were amazing. So the interesting thing is that Simon and Garfunkel, by the time this song is released, they were no longer together at this point in time. But everyone remembered the song. And everyone remembered that it had won 5 Grammy Awards back in 1970 and how this song was a big hit, right? Now, Franklin's Grammy performance was released decades later in the 1994 compilation Grammy's Greatest Moments Volume 3. So if you have any desire to kind of go that route and check those things out, you can do that and find her performance amongst many others in there. I did not do that because I really don't have access, even though it's probably on YouTube. Grammy's Greatest Moments, Volume 3. Now, why was her version so important and impactful? I was wondering, so I asked Google, and now Google, when you ask it a question, it's AI who responds, and AI says that Aretha Franklin's 1971 version of Bridge Over Troubled Waters was profoundly impactful because, first, she transformed the folk pop original into a deeply emotional gospel anthem. I really love how they say that. It was a folk pop original by Simon and Garfunkel, and she just completely changed it to an emotional gospel anthem. It's really cool. Also, by infusing the song with soulful piano vocal improvisations, which is very blues, rhythm and blues flavor that she brings to the song. And adding lyrics like "Don't Trouble the Water," she created a powerful rendition that redefined the song's meaning. Don't trouble the water. And key reasons for the impact also include the gospel reinterpretation of the song. She takes the song back to the church, as Paul Simon says, infusing it with divine spiritual feeling and turning it into a heartfelt testament of endurance. Now, when you think of the 60s, Rita's doing this and she's performing and she's starting to come out. Her father, she used to perform in the choir at her dad's church doing gospel music, and she decided she wanted to do pop music. And her dad wasn't really very excited about that. And we're talking here 1963, 1964, but she, even before. So she decides that that's what she wants to do. And why am I going there? So that's where that spiritual feeling comes from. That heartfelt testament, that's where I wanted to go. And endurance, because 1962, if you were like 15, African American, and you were 15, it's most likely that your grandparents or great grandparents, like 2 or 3 generations before you, you had members in your family who had been slaves. So that connection was not that far off. Those memories were very, very raw still. So that's what she brings into this heartfelt testament of endurance kind of vibe to this song. Also, her mastery, her vocal mastery, and her phrasing. So here, AI says she used her signature vocal technique, stretching out phrases and delaying her delivery to create a tug of war between anticipation and satisfaction, making the performance more emotionally urgent. Just getting the beginning, just getting it started. She really extends that as much as she can. Also, another component is its cultural timing and emotion, because it is released during the tumultuous times that she was growing up in, the civil rights. So her interpretation provides comfort and acts as a soothing balm. It is really, that's a really good way of putting it. A soothing balm, which she further cemented with her unforgettable performance at the 2015 Kennedy Center honors. And I tried to look that up and find it, and I was not able to find it. So if any of you out there by any chance managed to find a recording of that, please share with us. Let me know and I will share it. Another reason is Bridge Over Troubled Waters, her version of it, kind of according to AI, it's like a reinvention. It's a musical reinvention because she takes control of the arrangement, the playing of the electric piano herself, and shifting the song from a quiet folk ballad to a powerful soul ballad. And it really is. Her version not only reached number 6 on the Hot 100s in 1971. Excuse me, guys. I've got like a little tickle on my throat. But also earned a Grammy for Best Rhythm and Blues Vocal Performance, which the song is really amazing. So, Don't Trouble the Waters is how it starts. I'm going to read the lyrics right now. Don't trouble the waters. I won't. Leave it alone. Why don't you let it be? Those they do them in harmonies. I mean, it's crazy. It's incredible. Still water runs deep. Yes, it do. I love that. I know that. Whoa, yeah. If you only believe. Okay. And then there's an instrumental. Now, that's how the song starts. There's like this harmony, and this is what they're saying, right? When they're singing. The chorus, the choir says one thing, and then she answers. There's a back and forth. And then it goes, after the instrumental part, the break, it goes into Don't Trouble the Waters. Said I wouldn't. Leave it alone. Why don't you let it be? Still water run deep. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Whoa, whoa. If you only believe. And then we go into the first lyrics. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. Now, these are the same lyrics of Simon and Garfunkel's, but her version is like, wow, it just takes you to another place completely different. At least it did me. And a lot of people, that's why we love it. I'll take your part, oh, when darkness comes, and pain is all around, just like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. Like a bridge, just like a bridge, over troubled waters, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine? Oh, and if you ever need a friend, look around. I'm sailing right behind, just like a bridge. Bridge over troubled waters. So it says bridge, choir, over. Read that over, choir, troubled, and then water. It's like the vocals are amazing. I'll be there to lay me down like a bridge. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Oh, I'll be your bridge. Yes, I will. Don't trouble the water. Said I wouldn't. Leave it alone. Well, why don't you? Why don't you let it be? Still water run deep. I know that. Yes, I do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Still water. Don't trouble the water. Yeah. Leave it alone. Why don't you? Why don't you let it be? Talking about still water. Still water run deep. You know they run deep. Yes, it do. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm gonna be your bridge. Yeah. Don't trouble the water. The troubled water, leave it alone. Oh. And then it goes, why don't you let it be? Come on. Walk out on me. Still water run deep. Oh, yes it do. That's it. I am not going to play anything about it for you. Usually I play a little bit, but YouTube doesn't like it when I do that. I haven't gotten in any serious trouble. They just don't like it, even if it's just a little bit. So I'm putting the link in the description underneath this video. The link will be there. I'm going to put both of them. I'm going to put the Simon Garfunkel version, 1970, and of course her version, because we're talking about her version. And you will see the difference, and maybe with some of this background information and who Aretha was, you can find more meaning when you listen to the song. I hope so. So you guys, that is it for this song, Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Aretha Franklin, number 50. What did I say? Oh boy, what a memory. I tell you, it's just useless sometimes. My memory. It just, let's see, let me go, scroll up. Oh, let's see, what number was it? 52 on the Billboard End of the Year Top 100 Hits. For 1971, it's number 52, which is a decent place to be for this song. All right, guys, thank you very much for visiting. I hope you liked the video. Take good care of yourselves, and peace, love, and understanding. Talk to you later. Bye.